Hello guys, how is it going? Today I'm here to tell you and give you some tips and some really cool stuff that I found recently while trying to improve my arc Ignite Elementalist, playing with the nebulis, incandescent heart and Aegis Aurora and stuff. I guess you guys know about this build. If you don't know, just quickly telling you, this is a Vaal arc Ignite. We play with nebulas, Aegis Aurora and incandescent heart. So we convert our damage from lightning to cold, we call it the Brotherhood, and we convert 50% of cold damage to fire, and we also get the cold damage as extra fire. So you may ask yourself, why the fuck are you converting your lightning damage to cold and then to fire damage? I mean, what's the point? And the reason is incandescent heart. Incandescent heart says you gain, on this case it goes from 10 to 20, so in this case 16% of elemental damage as extra chaos damage. And also you have the elemental damage from hits is taken as chaos damage, but we are CI, we play with chaos inoculation. That means we mitigate basically 20% of elemental damage, because we take this as chaos damage, and since we are immune to chaos damage, this percentage of the damage gets ignored, right? We don't take 25% of elemental damage. Basically, that's why we play with this chest piece right here. And we also increases our damage with the nebulis from the, so we are playing with Aegis Aurora, so, and melting of the flesh, right? So Aegis Aurora, melting of the flesh, that means we can have 90% of all elementals resistances. At the moment I'm not playing with Period of Ice, as you guys see here, because I ended up getting other ways to get 90% of maximum cold resistance, for example with the tattoo, and also I got the legacy version of the melting of flesh, so I don't need to worry about getting a Period of Ice. I still need to get some mana reservation efficiency, so I have the Spiteful Presence, I have the self-control, and I also have one cluster jewel here with 3 nodes just to get the mana reservation efficiency. So yeah, we have to play, we have to this is something that you need to figure out how to fix on your build. In this case I just dropped the Period of Ice, and I prefer to get the Herald of Ash instead. So Herald of Ash just gives me more spell fire damage, that's all, and also has a cool looking effect. That's why I choose to play with Herald of Ash instead of Period of Ice, since I don't really need it. So what is this all about? I want to show you two very cool interactions that I found, or tips, let's say like that, for you, what I was trying to improve my clearing. So this is just a mapping build, just I only made this character to straight up just farm. I prefer to play in the strand map because it has a better layout, it's very easy to go to the boss, and then you can just go back to the portal and loot the items on the way back. So that's why I love the strand map layout. I'm only playing strand maps. Another reason is Legion. So I was playing with some Legion. I have some Legion strategy here on my Atlas and stuff. I have strong boxes, breaches, and shrines, and Legion. And also I have those new Scarab here that gives me increased experience gained, increased map found, Legion, and strong boxes. Basically that's my strategy: shrines, Legion, strong boxes, okay, and breaches, but to be honest I don't really care too much about the breach. So what I want to show you is I was searching for ways to maintain, to have a much better uptime on my Vaal arc, because Vaal arc clears like a madman. I mean, it's so insane, the clearing aspect of this build, as well as the tankiness. That's why I think this build is way superior to Ethereal Knives, because yeah, you need more currency, you need a lot more unique items, and you need mage blood and stuff for this build, but it is way better because arc is one of the best clearing skills of the game. But just remember, I'm playing with the reduced mana cost of skills, so I don't need to play with inspiration. So I choose to play with empower, and this opens a new socket here, a new gem link, because I don't really need to play with deadly ailments. The sixth link here would be deadly ailments, but since I have already so much damage for the mapping aspect, I thought to play with chain would be a great idea, because it increases the amount of times that the arc is going to chain. So if you see, I have 16 times, or the Vaal arc is going to chain 16 times, and the normal arc 14 times. If I play with Ashes of the Stars give quality of all skill gems, and the arc quality increases the times that it's going to chain. I was trying it out, I thought it was going to increase by a lot, but unfortunately it just increased by 1 on my Vaal arc. It goes from 16 to 17, so it's not really good to play with Ashes of the Stars. You could do it, but I really recommend to play with the Replica Dragon's Flight because of the +3 level of all arc gems, which is way better than just 1 level of all skill gems. So I'm playing with Soul Ripper. The Soul Ripper says you lose all charges when you enter a new area. So at the moment I just entered the area, so I have no charges at all. Once it gets to the maximum charges, which is 56, it's going, if you use the flask, it's going to consume all of the charges. To in a certain, yeah, you need to have all the charges to use, but when you use the flask, it's going to consume all the charges and is going to give you back the same amount of souls. So you need souls to spend your Vaal skills. In this case, this is a flask to maintain, to keep your Vaal skills on a high uptime. So that's exactly what I did here. So I have a soul gain prevention of 2 seconds. That means if I spend a Vaal arc, I need to wait 2 seconds to be able to gain the souls again. And because this is a very good clearing skill, I have my Vaal arc basically 100% of the time. So let me just show you. So I have no charges right here. I'm going to pop up some monsters, I'm going to kill some stuff, and you see, as soon as I get my charge, so I have my Vaal arc up, I'm going to use the Vaal arc, I'm going to get charges, and you're gonna see that I'm gonna have another Vaal arc ready. So I just another thing is that this is kind of a AFK build, because you can play we are using Tempest Shield, and Tempest Shield has a cooldown. It has when you block, Tempest Shield is going to trigger a chain, a beam basically. This beam can chain between enemies, and you can kill enemies just by standing still and blocking their attacks, which is kind of funny. So I'm going to demonstrate to you all. I'm going to pop up this box here. I'm going to use my Vaal arc. It's going to kill a lot of monsters. I have my flask back, and then I just have another Vaal arc ready, because the time when I got my souls prevention threshold, so I can basically get my souls back again, I already have my flask up and it's going to use. And very important, you need to get used when charges reaches full, because as soon as it gets full, it's going to consume all the charges, and you're gonna get all the souls that you need for a Vaal arc. I'm gonna use a Vaal arc right here. As you see, I have the Vaal arc back already. I can use it again. It's going to kill a lot of monsters. I'm going to get use my flask, and I can get I just got my souls. I can use the Vaal arc again. So as you notice, this is very strong, because the Vaal arc clears a lot more than the normal arc. And if you have it 100% of the time, bro, this is like the best of the best. It's one of the most ridiculous clearing skills of the game, and along with the best dot of the game, in my opinion, which is the Ignite. It clears like I mean, I'm going to demonstrate. I have the Legion. I'm gonna pop up my arc, my Vaal arc, and it's going to change between all enemies. All enemies are dead. I triggered all of them. I can use my Vaal arc again. I just use it, and all the enemies in the Legion are fucking dead. So this is an absurd for just popping off and obliterate Legion monoliths, as you guys can see right here. So yeah, I was searching for a very ridiculous clearing skill, and to be honest, Ethereal Knight was my previous build. I was playing with it. It was really good, but I always thought like, oh bro, I wish I could blast Legion's monoliths in just one tap, and this where this build came in, and I'm so happy that we can have some build like that, which in a certain point it is really strong, but it also is really tanky. So if you see, I'm just blasting this guy right here. He is killing himself. He is stupid. He's taking damage. I'm taking damage, but I recover that, and you're gonna see he's dead. He just literally killed himself while hitting me. So this is very interesting. The Vaal arc, sometimes it gets kind of bugged. Sometimes it doesn't really clear off the the, the mobs that it could kill, but still is bro, this is just the best. This is the dream. If you want to find, you have a lot of diviners on your stash, you want to find a build to just farm Crimson Temples or Strand or something like that, this is the build for it. Alright, so as you guys can see, was even a little bit clunky. I wasn't really paying attention. I was explaining a lot of stuff, but if you are very focused on your speed farming strategy, this is a really nice build and a really nice technique using the Soul Reaper along with the Vaal arc. So you don't really need the chain support. You can play with weaken deadly ailments, but if I already have a lot of damage, if I just get more damage, it's okay. But just because sometimes there are some mobs that are really beefy, and it kind of takes I don't know, maybe 3 seconds or 4 seconds more to kill them, just because they have so much health or so much resistance. But to be really honest, I don't I was because I was mapping without the awakened chain, and I really thought I don't really need the deadly ailments. I prefer to play with the awakened chain because I can clear a lot more. And oh boy, this was the best decision I ever made. I have a lot of clearing potential with the awakened chain along with the Soul Reaper. So you could play with Odious End to have more explode, and the explode, I mean, the explode is just way better than anything else. But I already have 50% on my nebulis, and to be honest, between having, I mean, it's going to increase your damage, because you may say, all right, so if I don't play with the Soul Reaper, I could play with this, and the enemy is going to explode, and it's going to do a lot more damage, it's going to trigger a lot more reactions and stuff. But from 14 times to 16 times from the Vaal arc, I think is a really big difference. That's why I prefer to play with the Soul Reaper and using this combination to have 100% time on my Vaal arc. I think it is way better, but you don't really need to play with it. Alright, you don't really need to play with either the Ordas and or the Soul Reaper. The best flask that you could use would be the Azir's Promise, because it has the elemental damage as extra chaos, and this flask alone gives me 1 million DPS, something like that. So it is the best damage output. Don't play with the Soul Catcher, please don't play with the Soul Catcher. I thought like Soul Catcher would be a really interesting flask for this build, but the problem is it says you cannot gain mana during effect, and mana is something really annoying with this build, because if you see, I have the reduced mana cost of skills. If I take this off, it goes to 110 mana cost. So if I spend 3 arcs, I already have to wait until I can spam another arc, and I also had to spend some points on the mana regeneration because I was struggling a little bit with the mana. I don't really want to spam my arc like this, but just for the fact that I can flame dash and cast without worrying about my mana is way better. And also I'm not playing with a granite flask. I'm playing, so I have here the granite flask, or maybe a magic fire flask, right? So I'm not playing with that. I'm playing with the silver flask and also with the cast speed during effect, just because it's, if you don't have it, it's not a problem, but it's kind of annoying when you flame dash so quickly, you go so quickly to the enemies, but then when you use your arc, it takes a little more time to cast it, and it's kind of annoying. Sometimes you die because of that. That's why I just prefer to play with the onslaught and also cast speed during. In fact, that this is way smoother and better for the your mapping aspect in general. All right. So basically, that's it. That's all I wanted to tell you guys. Uh, Maybe don't play with Ashes of the Stars. It's not a great idea. The replica Dragon Fang is way better. And so I got the boots here for the chance to avoid being shocked. I have 100% chance to avoid being shocked, and since I'm playing with the Storm Shroud, that means I am immune to all elemental ailments. This is really good. There is something else. There was something else that I want to talk about. Let me think. So I had another thing that I wanted to show you. The chance to avoid being shocked. The gloves is just for the energy shield and resistance. So the tattoos, I'm playing with the increased global defenses. I got anywhere I could. I got the honor tattoo of the turtle because it increases your global defense. That means it's going to increase your armor, but also your energy shield. Well, you don't really need a lot of energy shield, but I think this is the best of both worlds. The energy shield and also the armor. That's why I play with these tattoos, but you could play with the chance to avoid, or at least you get the reduced damage from the critical strikes. This also helps a lot. Okay, so this is the best build that I've played so far. It is amazing. It has a lot of tankiness. It is really smooth to map, but it's also, if you want to camp some bosses, you can just change one gem or another, or a flask or a jewel and stuff, and there you go, you are ready to kill some bosses, right? But this is a mapping build for sure, right? So don't think this is a bosser. This is a mapper build, but you can do tier 17. But at the moment, I'm just more worried about clearing the map faster, so I can play a lot more maps, since I'm farming for the mirror nebulis, which says the enemies you kill explode. That's what I'm wanna get. I wanna get the legacy version of the nebulis, but it's currently going for one mirror, and I don't have it. I think I have 17 divines on my stash, so 17 divines. That's why I think I'm going to take some time farming for that. I just want to farm very clear the map very fast. So that's why I'm currently having this version, which is not the best version, but it's the most fun maybe, because we can have a Vaal arc all the time. And of course you could play with the Ordeas and have 45% percent chance to explode, which makes the enemy explode a lot more often. And you can just use a Vaal arc once you get into the monolith, the Legion monolith. So it's not really a big deal, but if you wanna have some fun exploding some monolith, you can play with the Soul Reaper. Alright guys, but that's all. I just want to say this is an amazing build, thanks to MB Extreme, which is the main version of that I got inspiration from the video that he made about this build. I thought that at the beginning this was gonna be a weaker version, especially because they buffed the Archmage builds, the mana stacking builds this time, but still this has a way more survivability than a mana stacking build. Okay, so that's it guys. I think you just saw a little different approach on the Vaal arc, and I thought the Soul Catcher would be a really nice flask for this build, but unfortunately the mana during effect is kind of it's kind of a big L, right? And the Soul Reaper is just way better, and this is the most amazing build I ever play. I hope they don't nerf it, because to be really honest, this is a really good build, but it's really expensive. You need a lot of uniques. You need to you have the template, but you need to change and adapt everything you need for your current situation. Because that's why I think this is a good build and shouldn't be nerfed at all, because it takes some time. You need to invest into your character, and once you have your character ready, it's kind of a good feeling, because you know you worked hard for this current state of your character, and I'm really happy with the state I'm in. And yeah, so I'm just farming for the Mural tier nebulis, and once I got it, I'll make sure that I record another video for you guys. All right, so see you next time.